welcome to Hannah's Kitchen. Tonight I'm going to be making a bacon-wrapped chicken breast with a cream cheese filling. To start with, I've got my chicken breast and my bacon, and then I've got all the things that I need to season it with. I've got my 4-pepper blend, my lemon dilly dip mix, my 3-onion dip mix, and my cream cheese. Before I do anything else, I'm going to mix up my cream cheese. I need 1 tablespoon for 1 chicken breast. And if you're cooking more than this, you're going to need a tablespoon of cream cheese per chicken breast that you're going to be cooking. Let's scoop that in there. I'm going to be adding to the cream cheese 1 teaspoon of lemon dilly dip mix and a 1/2 teaspoon of the 3-onion mix. You'll want to give that a really good stir. I forgot to pull out a fork, so I'll be right back. Let's give this a really good mix. You can just mix that all in nicely with a fork. And there we go, that's all nicely mixed. Now I'm going to need my spatula to dish it in to into the chicken when I'm ready for that. So I'm just going to put that aside there. The next thing I'm going to want to do is, before I touch the chicken, I'm going to want to have everything else ready. So I'm going to pull out the bacon. And for 1 chicken breast, I'm going to need 2 slices of bacon. And this bacon is still not any better than the last time I used it. It's still kind of fatty and stringy, and it falls apart when you try to touch it. But that's okay. It has a really nice flavor. That is what we're interested in. There we go. Nope, that one's all over too. Okay. There we go. It's kind of fatty, but that's okay. You know what? I can pull that little piece of that right off. And that'll do just fine for wrapping. Right there, rinse my hands off. Now, before I actually touch the chicken, I'm going to want to put gloves on, because there is nothing I hate more on my hands than raw chicken juice. I'd recommend this anyways, because there's all sorts of things that can get into the chicken breast that you just don't want on your hands, and it keeps your working area nice and clean. Okay. So, what I'm going to want to do first is I'm going to want to take my chicken breast and I'm going to want to cut it horizontally down the thin edge so that it opens up nice and flat. If you have a fillet knife, I would strongly recommend using that, but any really sharp knife will do. You don't want to cut it completely in half. You just want to cut it so that it's nice and wide. I'll show you in just a second here. Okay. So you want to cut it nice and open, just like that. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this cream cheese that I just mixed up. To all of it out of the bowl, stick it into the middle of the chicken. you can use your fingers, especially if they're gloved, just to smush all the cream cheese nicely into the center there, so that it's all nice and spread out. So just like that. I want to fold that back up so that it's a regular chicken breast shape, so that all the cream cheese is on the inside. And I'm going to start to wrap it with my bacon. And I've got 2 slices of bacon here because you want to have this nice and tightly wrapped. And that is how the chicken's going to look. I'm just going to top it off with a little bit of my 4-pepper blend. Just put a little tiny bit of seasoning on the top. You don't need very much. You just need 3 turns on your grinder. And you can't even see that on the camera, but there's just a very light sprinkling of assorted peppers there. Now I've got my oven preheated to 425. I'm going to put it on the middle rack for 22 minutes. And I will see you in 22 minutes as soon as this is done. Okay, my chicken has just finished cooking, so I'm going to pull it out of the oven. And there goes my wrap on the side. Okay, so that is all nicely cooked. But the bacon, especially on the bottom, is not quite as crispy as I'd like it to be. So what I'm going to do is I've got my non-stick frying pan. And I'm just going to warm it up a little bit there. As soon as it's warm enough, you'll be able to tell, I'm going to put the chicken on and I'm going to let it broil nicely on either side so that the bacon gets nice and crispy. And while I'm doing this, while the chicken was cooking, I have been cooking some rice and I've just put some broccoli in the microwave in my steamer, and that's going to be my dinner tonight. Okay, that's warming up. Be up here as soon as the bacon starts to sizzle. You want to cook it just until it's crispy on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll let you see the final product when it's done. Okay, so my chicken is nicely browned on both sides. The bacon is just perfectly crispy. Got it on my plate with my broccoli and my rice, and that's dinner. I'll see you next time when I show you how to make potato salad for a barbecue.